get ready to expand your vocabulary so that you can express yourself completely. Today, you are going to learn 10 useful daily life English phrases that I use in daily life, and you can too. Hi, I'm Vanessa from speakenglishwithvanessa.com. And like always, I have created a free PDF worksheet for you with all of today's vocabulary, definitions, sample sentences, and you can answer Vanessa's challenge question at the bottom of the worksheet. Plus, in today's worksheet, I have added a special 10-question quiz so that you can test yourself and see if you really understand today's vocabulary. You can click on the link in the description to download that free PDF worksheet today. It is my gift to you. I recently made these 2 lessons, running errands around my town and going shopping. Today, you're going to learn 10 key phrases from these lessons. So I'm going to show you a clip from the video, then I'm going to explain the expression, and then we will watch the clip again. I want to see if the second time is easier for your ears to understand because now you know the phrase and you're able to understand more English. Plus, one of the expressions that I'm going to explain is one that I guarantee, I am 99.99% sure that you have never heard of in your entire life, but I use often in my daily life. What is it? Well, you are about to find out. If you knew that phrase before this lesson, please tell me in the comments and I will give you a great round of applause. I will be shocked. So let's start with the first expression that I used in those videos. We're going to watch the clip and I will tell you which one of those is the most surprising if you already know it. All right, let's start with the first clip. These are the kids' books that I just put in there. Sometimes there's magazines. Sometimes, one time I even found some homemade vegetables in there, homegrown vegetables. Pretty cool. You just heard me say, one time I even found some homegrown vegetables in the book box. This word even is used before the verb found. I even found. What do you think this means? Why did I choose to say the word even? I even found some homegrown vegetables. Well, we usually use the word even in front of a verb to show something surprising. What do you expect to be in a book box? Books. So I wanted to show you something surprising. I even found some homegrown vegetables. Someone had some excess cucumbers and tomatoes and they put them in the book box so that someone could get them for free. I was surprised. I was delighted. So I said, I even found something surprising, homegrown vegetables in the book box. You can even use the word even in a negative sentence as well. Take a look at this. Last week, my son counted to 30, and I have never even taught him that. Here we're saying that I never sat down and had a lesson where I explained 1, 2, 3, and I helped him learn to count. He just learned how to count by himself. So I'm expressing surprise. I never even taught him that. How did he learn? He just learned. That's how you do it when you're a kid, right? So I use this in a negative sentence by using the word never. I never even taught him that, and somehow he knows. How cool. All right, let's watch the original clip again where you see me use this word even in the daily context from the previous video. Let's watch. These are the kids' books that I just put in there. Sometimes there's magazines. Sometimes, one time I even found some homemade vegetables in there, homegrown vegetables. Pretty cool. All right, let's go on to the second useful expression that you're gonna learn today about finding something. Let's watch the clip. We are going to be making some donations to the local charity shop, and these are items that my family doesn't use anymore and other people might find them useful. In this clip, you heard me say that I'm donating things that other people might find useful. Here we're talking about this phrase to find something useful. We're not talking about searching for something. I need to find my pencil. I lost it. We're not talking about losing something. Instead, we're just talking about something that's beneficial. So you could say, I'm donating some items that other people might think are useful. We're just substituting think and find to create this beautiful phrase to find something useful. Just to let you know, you can also use this phrase with another word, not just useful. You might say, I find Vanessa's lessons very interesting. Thank you. I hope that you find them useful too, but you might find them interesting. I hope you don't find my lessons boring. I hope that you find them interesting. All right, let's watch the original clip so that you can see how to find something useful is used. Let's watch.
We are going to be making some donations to the local charity shop. And these are items that my family doesn't use anymore, and other people might find them useful.
All right, let's go on to our third phrase, which is a full fixed phrase in a sentence. See how I use it in the original context, and then we'll talk about it.
It is an old door. So I'm going to ask the lady if that's something that they'll accept, and we'll see what happens.
You just heard me say, I'm going to ask the lady to see if they will take the donation, and we'll see what happens. This phrase, we'll see what happens, is just accepting whatever happens as destiny. I'm not going to fight it. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. We'll see what happens. So if there's a situation where you're not sure what's going to happen, you can use this. For example, you might say, I'm going to go on a picnic tomorrow, but it might rain, so we'll see what happens. You're not making definite plans now for rescheduling or for canceling. You're just kind of saying, I will figure it out later. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see how it was used in the original clip and see if you can pick up that whole phrase. We'll see what happens when I say it. Let's watch.
It is an old door. So I'm going to ask the lady if that's something that they'll accept, and we'll see what happens.
All right, let's go on to the fourth phrase that's useful for daily life, and I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with duper, looper, scooper. Let's watch and see what it is.
So if you want to know why we're giving away a door, it's because we bought a super cheap used door. I think it was $8 from another thrift store, and my husband made it into a table, like a craft play table for my kids.
In this clip, you saw me say, we bought a super cheap used door, and my husband made it into a craft table for our kids. I used this word, super. It's a great slang word that you're welcome to use in daily life, and it is talking about emphasizing. Very cheap door. I think the door was $8. We bought a super cheap door. We bought a very cheap door. For me, in my personal life, I use the word super a lot because, as you maybe can imagine, I am a enthusiastic person sometimes. So I like these words that add emphasis. A super cheap door, it gives that type of energy that I have inside, and it brings it to my speech. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to express yourself and your personality the way that you are. So maybe this word super wouldn't fit with your personality, or maybe it does, but now you're able to understand it, and when someone uses it in a conversation, you can get it. So let's watch how it was used in the original clip and listen for the word super, which rhymes with duper, looper, scooper. Let's watch.
So if you want to know why we're giving away a door, it's because we bought a super cheap used door. I think it was $8 from another thrift store, and my husband made it into a table, like a craft play table for my kids.
Let's go on to the fifth useful phrase for daily life that you are going to hear inside the shop. And you might hear something about this. All right, let's watch.
Oh, these earrings are so cute. And you know what? I'm a sucker for earrings. This is what I usually buy when I go to a new country or when I visit somewhere, I like to buy earrings because I wear them every day and it reminds me of the place that I visited.
You just heard me say I'm a sucker for earrings because I wear them every day. In fact, I bought these earrings in the shop after I stopped filming that video because I felt like I wanted to give to the store something. I needed to purchase something in order to film the video in their shop. So I purchased these earrings because I'm a sucker for earrings. What does this mean? Usually the word suck is something that you do with a straw, but I'm not doing that with my earrings. Instead, it just means that I love something so much that I can't refuse it. I'm a sucker for earrings. If I find some cute earrings, it's hard for me to resist them. Let me give you another example. You might say, when I saw that there was chocolate cake on the menu, I had to buy it. I'm a sucker for anything chocolate. This just means you love chocolate so much that you couldn't resist buying the piece of chocolate cake on the menu. All right, let's see how this was used in the original conversation so that you can get an idea for the context. Let's watch.
Oh, these earrings are so cute. And you know what? I'm a sucker for earrings. This is what I usually buy when I go to a new country or when I visit somewhere. I like to buy earrings because I wear them every day and it reminds me of the place that I visited.
Let's take a look at the sixth useful phrase that has to do with this. Let's watch.
There's, I think, so many cute little things that aren't from a big box store. So a big box store is like Walmart or Target, and there's nothing personal there, right? It might be American, kind of, but this type of thing is really the perfect type of gift shop.
You just heard me talk about big box stores like Walmart or Target that are really common in the US. These big box stores, yes, they are like a giant box that you walk into. These are stores that aren't local, they're not unique, and they don't have anything really personalized or really special in them. It is really convenient to shop in big box stores, but it's not the best place to buy a gift for someone. If you want to support the local economy, it's a good idea to go to a small shop and not a big box store. But I must say, when you visit another country, like if you visit the US, it is really interesting to visit big box stores like Walmart or Target, because it can show something about the local culture, the culture of the US. So whenever I visit another country, sometimes I visit big box stores just because I want to see what is it like compared to in the US. So you might want to still visit these types of places when you visit the US, but you can also visit cute little local shops like this one. All right, let's see that original clip again, and you can hear how I used big box store compared to the local shop where I'm at in the video. Let's watch.
There's, I think, so many cute little things that aren't from a big box store. So a big box store is like Walmart or Target, and there's nothing personal there, right? It might be American, kind of, but this type of thing is really the perfect type of gift shop.
Let's go on to the seventh phrase in daily life conversation that you can use. And this is the one that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that if you knew this phrase before this lesson, I am going to be shocked. So please tell me in the comments if you knew this phrase before today's lesson, and I will give you a big round of applause. All right, let's watch the clip and you'll see what this phrase is.
Salt and pepper, little napkin ring holders. This type of store is chock full of those little goodies.
You just heard me say this type of store is chock full of these little goodies. As you could see, that store was not too big, but it was full of so many cute little items. Well, I used the phrase chock full. Have you ever heard this before? This is something that I use, as you can see, in daily conversation, and now you can too. So if you want to say that something is packed, there are so many things in a small area, you can use this phrase chock full. Let's take a look at another example. When I had my baby, my friend sent me a basket that was chock full of fruit and chocolate and special treats that I could enjoy. Here we get the idea that there is a basket with lots of little things overflowing inside of it. So let me know if you knew this phrase before today's lesson. Let me know in the comments, and let's go on and watch how I used that in the original conversation again. Listen carefully for that beautiful phrase, chock full. Let's watch.
Salt and pepper, little napkin ring holders. This type of store is chock full of those little goodies.
Let's go on to the 8th useful daily life expression that I used in this little shop. This 8th expression sounds like it might be violent, but trust me, it's not. Let's watch and see what it is.
Here we have some more locally made soap. Can't beat lavender, right? Lavender's always the best.
You just heard me say you can't beat lavender. Lavender is always the best scent. Okay, there's a lot of scents that I like. Lavender, lilac, peonies, all these flowers are so nice. But I just said you can't beat lavender. Are we talking about beating up lavender? Am I gonna go outside and see a lavender, some lavender flowers and a lavender bush and just beat it up? You can't beat it. No. Instead, we're talking about the best. Lavender is the best scent, in my opinion. And you can't get anything better than that. You can't beat lavender. Let me give you another example. After a long trip, you can't beat the feeling of coming home and falling asleep in your own bed. You just can't beat that feeling, right? All right, let's see how can't beat was used in that original clip. I want you to listen for this phrase and see if you can understand it a little bit better than before, because I want for you to be able to pick up these phrases when you're watching movies and TV shows or hearing your coworkers have a conversation. That's the goal, that your ears will be able to pick up these phrases easier than before. So let's watch the original clip.
Here we have some more locally made soap. Can't beat lavender, right? Lavender's always the best.
Let's go on to the 9th useful daily life English phrase, which is somewhat similar to a phrase that we talked about earlier in this lesson. I wonder what it is. Let's watch.
Some sundresses. Sundresses for the adults. Can't resist those.
You just heard me say, I can't resist cute sundresses. And it's true. I love the feeling of wearing a sundress on a beautiful, sunny, warm day. It's certainly better than wearing pants and tight, restrictive clothing, at least in my opinion. So I said, I can't resist. This means that you cannot stop me from buying cute sundresses. You might also use this phrase by saying something like this: when I see that Vanessa has a new lesson, I can't resist watching it. That means maybe you have some work to do, maybe you need to go to bed. It doesn't matter, because nothing is going to stop you from watching my new lesson. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying it. All right, let's watch the original clip so that you can hear me say can't resist.
Some sundresses. Sundresses for the adults. Can't resist those.
Our 10th and final useful daily life English expression is one that you need to use your eyes for. Let's watch.
And it looks like some other kid things. Bring your grandparents. We have some kid books.
You just heard me say, it looks like there might be some other kid stuff over here. I used this phrase, it looks like, because yes, I am using my eyes to look, but also we use look in exchange for the word appear. So we could say, it appears that there are some other kids' things over here. That's so formal. Instead, in daily life, we're going to say, it looks like. It looks like there might be some kids' things over here. Let me give you another example. I'm not sure, but it looks like it might rain today, so I'm going to grab my umbrella. It looks like it might rain. I'm using my eyes to look at the sky, and I'm not certain. It might just be a cloudy, dark day like it is today. But I'm saying it looks like because I'm thinking that it might be true. It looks like it might rain today, so I'm going to bring an umbrella. All right, let's watch how that was used in the original context so that you can really get an idea for how to use this expression. Let's watch.
And it looks like some other kid things. Bring your grandparents. We have some kid books.
Well, congratulations on learning these 10 useful daily life expressions from the videos that I made in my town. Now I want to know in the comments, what is something that you can't resist? Let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll all have some similarities. Even though we're from different backgrounds and different cultures, we might not be able to resist the same things. Let's see. And don't forget to download the free PDF worksheet for today's lesson. It includes all of today's vocabulary, definitions, sample sentences, and you can answer Vanessa's challenge question so that you never forget what you've learned. Plus, you can answer the 10-question vocabulary quiz to see if you've really learned these phrases. You can click on the link in the description to download that free PDF worksheet today. Well, thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye! But wait, do you want more? I recommend watching this video next, where you will join me in my town. You saw short clips of these videos today, but I want you to watch the full lesson, including a mistake that I made when I went to the bank. What was it? Well, I'll see you in that video to find out.